I know, Riv, you're an Eagles fan, so I want to ask you the question first. Is it time to bench Carson Wentz?
It's a tricky situation because if we bench him, what are we gonna put Jalen Hurts in, right? We're gonna put him in a pretty sickening situation for him to get hurt too. I don't think you bench him. I think you just ride out the season. The season's already a lost cause. Even if we make the playoffs, we're probably gonna get destroyed by the Bucs. Right now we're supposed to be playing the Bucs, so they're gonna destroy us. I think you ride him out the season. You play him the season, because if you bench him now, you put Jalen Hurts in. There's a chance. It's not like that offensive line is going to get any better. It's not like the receivers are going to get any better. The injuries are still going to happen throughout the year. The defense has been playing – well, the past defense has been playing really well, so that's one thing about us, and that's been a struggle for us all year. It's sad that now that's better, everything else has dropped. So I think you start him for the rest of the year, just ride it out, and then you figure out in the offseason because this year's a lost cause. This
is the first time that I'm going to agree with you about Carson Wentz when we talk about him. I could have came on the show today and bashed Carson Wentz and called him horrible and said he's an interception machine and said he leads the league in turnovers and say he's not better than Dak and this season is why. I could have came on the show and probably made an argument for all those things and said you're crazy not to want to start Jalen Hurts. But I think people get too lost in the moment, especially in the age of social media. People are too quick to jump the gun and want change to happen right away. I mean, damn, can a quarterback just have a bad year? Like, that's what I'm thinking right now. Like, Carson Wentz last year threw 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. This year, yeah, he's 14 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. He's having a bad year. But every great quarterback has had a bad year. Ben Roethlisberger in 2006 threw 18 touchdowns and 23 interceptions.
Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning has had he's had a lot of bad years, So bad years. I mean, I think his like win and loss record is like even,
yeah, it
right?
is. He's the even guy.
So he's had a lot of bad years. So people want to knock Carson Wentz after he's had 3 straight pretty good seasons. The 1 year he does bad, it's time to bench him for Jalen Hurts. If it was a better quarterback, I may be on board. But I think people think that Jalen Hurts is this generational guy. If you put Jalen Hurts in, yeah, you'll be more effective in running the ball and maybe some like wildcat plays, but he's not a better thrower of the football than Carson Wentz. So you'll downgrade in that area.
He's not a playmaker.
I just don't. I don't know. I disagree with that. I think Jalen Hurts just isn't what people think he is. There's some sort of emotional attachment to Jalen Hurts amongst fans because he's fresh out of college and he's shown he's a great leader. But I don't think he's that great of a quarterback and definitely not good enough to try to start over Wentz right now.
I'll say this. Carson Wentz you could make an argument for the worst starting quarterback in the league this year. I mean, he entered this past week 32nd in completion percentage, 31st in yards per attempt. He had the most interceptions and the most sacks in the league. He was the lowest rated starting quarterback by PFF coming into the week. So, I mean, and on top of that, he was the lowest graded quarterback in the entire league on first down, which just kills the flow of the offense, and it shows in their offense throughout the season. The one thing, and I agree with you, I think that people are too reactionary these days, and I don't know if I would say I would bench him personally. The one thing that I really disagree with coming out of the Eagles is Doug Peterson said this past week that benching Wentz would send the wrong message to your football team that this season is over. And I could not disagree with that more. I think that the way Carson Wentz has played this year has hurt their playoff chances. And I don't know that many quarterbacks would be doing better in this system. And I do want to say, to his defense, because it's something I'll mention about another quarterback later in the show, his receivers have not been good. I mean, Travis Fulgham has been solid, but other than that, he hasn't had a consistent receiver all year long.
Travis Fulgham is starting to get treated like a number 1 receiver.
Yeah, exactly.
Denzel Ward was on him a lot of snaps, and he was locking him down.
And that's the problem. If Travis Fulgham is getting guarded like a number 1, who else is getting receptions? Greg Ward, Jalen Reagor's been hurt.
Alshon's been back, and he hasn't did a lick.
His receivers have not been there whatsoever. His line has been very poor all season long, and that leads to at least some of the sack numbers. So the situation isn't great. The one thing that I would say is I think that drafting Jalen Hurts in the second round showed that they saw something in him. And right now, I think that football team at the top of the division needs a spark. And I think that Jalen Hurts could be a spark for that football team. I'm not saying that I think they should bench him or shouldn't bench him, but when it comes to Doug Peterson saying he thinks it would send the wrong message to the team by benching him, I disagree completely. I think it would send a good message to the team that they want to win this season, even at the cost of benching their quarterback who they're paying $100 million plus over the next 4 years. You know, I think that it would send a message to the team that we want to win at all costs right now. Do I think he'll do better? Like you mentioned, I think the run game will be better, and maybe that's what they need because their receiving game hasn't been good this year, so maybe it would be a plus. But right now, I don't see any avenue for the Eagles to be the team that we thought they were going to be this season.
I would say, like, because the running game has been, I think Miles Sanders is top 5 in yards per carry. So he's been one of the lone bright spots this year. I would say blame has to go from top to bottom. I feel like everybody's blaming Wentz, and he's the quarterback, so he's going to get most of the blame. I think he deserves a lot of the blame, but I feel like Doug Peterson's play calling on offense deserves blame. I feel like the defense, the rush defense, hasn't been what it's been over the past 4 or 5 years. It's been pretty down this year. I think the receivers, obviously, you guys haven't been healthy. We're paying Deshaun about $10 million. We're paying Alshon about $13 million. They haven't been healthy. Travis Fulgham, like you said, he's been good, but you put a number 1 corner on him. What does he do? He's quiet all game. Jalen Reagor,
he's not a number 1.
Yeah, Jalen Reagor, he'll be better down the line. He's just, this is rookie
Travis
year.
Fulgham is just, I think Travis Fulgham is just adjusting to the coverage. I think he's going to be really
good. He's good. I just think he's never had the
maybe he can be a number 1 down the line, but right now I don't think he's a guy that you could put at the number 1 spot. And
Richard Rodgers has been your most consistent receiver.
Think about that.
And the one that Carson Wentz trusts the most. When I watch,
I think he trusts Dallas too.
I think Richard Rodgers just took that spot though. When I just watched the game,
because Dallas,
I see Richard Rodgers and that Wentz connection much more.
Because Dallas is getting guarded like how Zach Ertz was getting guarded because he's taking that spot because Zach has been hurt. And that's another guy who's playing horrible. He didn't fell off too. So I think this roster, who's one of the oldest in the league, and also we put in a lot of cap in this roster. So now we're gonna have to make a huge adjustment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna rock with Carson Wentz next year. We got Travis Fulgham. He's young. We got to pay him. Jalen Reagor's young. Miles Sanders. So we have young talent. Yeah. But we just got to figure out. Everybody has to take blame. We need a new play call. I saw on the Eagles page they might make a push for that Eric Bellini guy.
Eric Bieniemy?
Yeah, I hope so.
Bellini.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, but everybody. I'm tired of everybody blaming Wentz. Everybody deserves blame. Wentz gets about 35% of the blame. And then that's when we start dodging this to everybody else.
What I think is an important date, October 11, 2018, Carson Wentz had a back fracture. And since then, he's played 34 games. He's thrown 63 touchdowns. He's had 32 fumbles, and he's had 27 interceptions. I think it has to do with it. I think it definitely has something to do with it.
I was going to ask that question before you move on is he has never been the same since that MVP season. Is he ever going to get back to that level, or did they make a mistake in paying him all that money hoping that he would?
Well, think about that year. You know, that year, that was an impressive year. We had a great run. We had guys who knew their role. Everybody was happy. The O-line was playing great. We had receivers. We didn't have like a number 1, but we had guys who just knew what to do.
Yeah.
Then we fast-tracked this year. Alshon's unhappy. We got guys coming off the practice squad. You know, Carson Wentz, a lot of the times he has to run out the pocket and make a play. He seems a little timid with the guys he's throwing the ball to. He holds the ball too long. So to get back to the MVP level, I feel like he just has to find his confidence. You know, that year you saw him. He was lighting the league on fire, and now he's confident. He's unconfident. He doesn't throw the ball like he used to. He's hesitant a lot of times. Sometimes he tries to make a play by running when somebody's open. I don't think he's trusting his offense because he's been sacked so much. He just feel like he has to play hero ball all the time. So I think once we instill some confidence with our team, I think he'll be all right.
I think they were in a tough situation that year. They had to pay him because Nick Foles was coming off that Super Bowl MVP. So you had to show confidence that Carson Wentz was a guy. They were in a tricky situation. Did they pay him prematurely? Yes. Was it the right decision to pay him? Yes.
It was just bad timing.
If he didn't get paid that year, he was going to get paid after he threw 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions last year. You know, if he would have got paid this past year, he would have got paid regardless.
Probably.
This is just the one season he has an off year, and I think we have to give it time before we label him as whatever title people want to start labeling Carson Wentz.
Yeah, and I think that even if you bench him this year, I'm not saying give up on him forever unless Jalen Hurts comes in and is Lamar Jackson. You know, I think that even if you bench him this year for Jalen Hurts, it could be just a this year thing or this game thing and test it out while also believing Carson Wentz can be your franchise guy. Maybe the situation just isn't good for him right now.